What it do, folks? What it do? Team No Sleep. It's 6:31, and we started the show. We got Jim already. He already anxious, and he in the comments. He busting our chops because we started 60 seconds late. But you know what? That's okay. We appreciate the fans, appreciate the sponsors, and the community for keeping us on our toes. Hopefully, 60 seconds is all right, brother. All right, brother. Montel Allen, how you living, man?
Man, blessed, man, as usual, ready to get this week started. We're in midweek over that hump day, so
Yeah.
let's rock with it.
Let's do it. I'm gonna put his comment up on the screen. I'm gonna put him on blast there. We addressed it. Hopefully, we gonna try to do better. We gonna try to do better, man. But that's all right.
Man, we get them when we start early. We get them when we start late.
You know what I'm saying? We just can't get right. I know we just can't get right. Always in trouble up in these streets, up in these digital streets. One week we talking about Dana White and we get the show taken down. The next week, what we talking about? We got the police trailing you, and they pull us down. But you know what? Like Cheryl said, it's cool because we own now. We own now. Listen, we got a handful of stories to get in. As always, we're gonna start with a social impact focused story. We're gonna go back a couple of days and we're gonna talk about this situation right here. Y'all know him, Alvin Kamara from the New Orleans Saints. He and four other gentlemen, actually a couple of other football players too. Cincinnati Bengals cornerback Chris Lamons, I believe is how you say his last name. They got caught up in a situation. Right? They were in Vegas right before the Pro Bowl. They were at a club right before the Pro Bowl, and they got into an altercation with a gentleman. And next thing you know, people are throwing hands. People are stomping on each other. Look, it got a little out of hand. It got rowdy. But I've got the video, and we might actually show the video. But Alvin is saying, "Listen, I was there. I was minding my business, and then I was protecting myself, right in this particular situation." And I just with the headline, and I want to ask you, Montel, and then I want to ask the community as well. Just with the headline, Saints Alvin Kamara among four men indicted in battery case, and everything I just told you just now. What's that expectation that we as a fan should have when we see someone that we like, and Alvin Kamara, right? We in Vegas and we see him in the hallway and we say, "Man, I want to get that autograph. Can I get that picture? Hey, how you doing? Appreciate you. I'm wearing your jersey. Can you sign it?" All that. What's our mode of operation, I think, when we do that? I mean, should we expect something like that? Because again, we buy those season tickets, we buy that one ticket, we buy that jersey, we see you in the hallway, we want to get that picture, but you can't roll up on these people all the time like that. And how do you feel about this situation, how it's broken down? And while you're talking, I'll actually show the story and actually go through the video as well.
Yeah. This is a unique situation because, like you said, they were in a club environment or in the lobby of a hotel somewhere, and then now you're getting people that asking for the autographs, or they could be showing love or not showing love, right? They could be like the Saints suck and all this. We don't know what the conversation was in this particular incident, but whatever it is, it set off a trigger where these guys got into an altercation. When it comes to expectations for an athlete, I think we got to respect their privacy or their space. If you ask him for an autograph and he says no, at that particular time, he's just not feeling it, right? He's just not in it. He's on his off time. He's on his downtime. He's chilling with his friends, doing his thing. They're not expected to have to sign every autograph and please every fan that comes up to him. That's just not realistic in anybody. So the fact of the matter, when they don't do it, fans think they have the right to be disrespectful at that point, right? If somebody doesn't sign your jersey, they don't sign anything, or with an F him or screw you, you suck anyway. Then it starts to become a negative situation, and then now it starts to become combative at that point. You got to think also, I believe in this situation, I hate to say it, but I'm assuming even if Alvin didn't have alcohol, the person that probably said something to him probably had alcohol in the system as well.
Oh yeah, come on. It's Vegas. It's middle of the night.
Vegas.
You know that you got a little liquid courage in you. So while you're talking, I'm gonna show the video. We probably gonna get a copyright claim on it, but I don't care because the community needs to see. We've had a handful of copyright claims on some things, but keep talking about this as you see this video.
I believe we as a fan, you just don't have the right to say anything and do anything to an athlete just because you buy season tickets or you're a fan of theirs, or you're a fan of another team that's their enemy. You don't have the right to say what you want to say to everybody, man. And
You
when you
don't.
get in these situations, things happen like this. I don't give fans the freeway that they can do anything without some recourse.
Yeah.
Because if you're talking reckless and you're talking crazy, they're in a position where they know they're a liability, right? The threat is real when it comes to them. If somebody says I'll whoop your behind, I got to take it as a serious threat because I'm an athlete. Because the one thing can happen: extortion. You know, all these things can come. You can really hurt me and hurt my career. You can do anything. So I got to be on the defensive side more than anything when it comes to these situations. So I don't know. Me personally, man, the thing that I hate about this is I hate the claim this one on the headline. Indicted.
Yeah.
Indicted
Yeah.
for, man, it was an altercation, it was a fight in the club. You know what I'm saying? Oh,
And how
he's
many
indicted.
times have
Indicted.
listen? How many times have I gotten into an incident at the club? How many times have you? Has
Yeah.
everyone else, right, watching and listening to it as well, had one of those types of situations? And we're not famous, right? And we had a
Yeah.
situation where someone might step on our shoes, dumped a drink on our shirt, or whatever the case would be, or there been something that could have turned into an altercation. And does it escalate to this level of being in the press, being in the news, and all that?
Yeah.
Again, I'm kind of in the middle on this. I'll let you keep
Well,
going, but I'm keep showing
well,
these
the
videos.
reason why I say that I hate these strong words is indicted on bribery. That has such a negative connotation. Like, I got in an altercation with somebody. That's what it was. I got in an altercation with
Yeah.
somebody of differences, and in that, and we had fisticuffs. Now we're going to go to court. That's all that's saying. We're going to court. We're getting ready to go to court. But you're saying indicted. When we hear the word indicted, that means indicted usually on federal charges or drug charges. That's the first inclination we get. But now we say, and then it gets lighter when it says it's battery. Okay, fine. But the media again paints this negative connotation when it comes to these kind of athletes. And I'm gonna say these kind of athletes is athletes of color.
Yeah.
It's always it's that strong language, really negative condescending, like he's done something so aggressive and so overbearing that he did nothing. As you can see, yeah, he got into a fight, got in an altercation with somebody, him and his friends. But it's something that happens every day at every nightclub in every state in this country. He didn't shoot nobody. He didn't do anything. Like he got in a disagreement and it came to blows. Fine. The court will be able to settle that. He probably won't get into criminal charges if he does it gets anything light. And basically, this sets this guy up, whoever he got in a fight with, for a civil suit. That's all it is.
Yeah, because he's asking for $10 million.
Exactly.
Right. Again,
Exactly.
and if it was you and me running down the street, if it was okay, I'm gonna put
Hey, man.
myself in. I'm gonna put myself. If it was one of the folks that's trying to holler at me, you know, kind of in a different tone as they are right now, and I had to put them hands on them, they're not gonna ask me for $10 million. I'm not
No,
gonna give it to
it's
them.
gonna be a
But again,
discussion.
Alvin Kamara,
Yeah,
cornerback
yeah.
for the Saints. Oh yeah, we're gonna try to get that money. You're not getting
Well,
$10 million from Alvin
yeah.
Kamara.
Instead of just taking the L like like we did back in our day, you just take the L. You lost
Yes.
one, you lost it.
That's a grown man move, right? To take the L. That's really
Especially if
that. I
I'm in
mean,
the wrong.
grown. That's a grown
Yeah,
folk move right there. Just to
yeah,
take the L, right? Okay, Montel
yeah.
didn't want to
If
give
I'm in
me
the
his
wrong,
signature. He didn't want to give me a picture. Okay, and keep it moving. Keep it moving.
yeah. But if I'm in the wrong, I'm definitely gonna just take the L. Right? He got me. Cool. Whatever. What
Mm-hmm.
we gonna deal with this? Or me personally, I handle it off that. The police got involved or whatever. I'm like, look, dog. They're gonna bring charges. I wouldn't press charges. Just took an L.
Yeah.
Cool. Whatever. It is what it is. And
That's
on
different.
his
That's a
end, I'm
different
pretty sure.
mindset. That's a different upbringing, though. Again, I
Yeah.
think we it's a little seasoned mind. That's when you got the salt in your beard. That's when you've been
Well,
around a few times.
but I also think everybody's sue happy, right? They want to be sue happy. They want to be able to. Hey,
Okay.
I want to get some money out of them if I can. And I get it. I get it. Why people do that, but I don't understand. If I'm in the wrong and I'm asking, I'm sure him and his crew wasn't picking on that guy. I don't think those four individuals that were there.
Yeah. Did Alvin and his crew initiate the response? No.
Yeah, I
I
don't think
agree with
so.
you on that. I don't believe
Yeah.
that actually happened. Yeah.
So if they didn't initiate it, why does he have to be now? Why does he have to be deemed
Come
as
on.
the aggressor, and this other guy gets to play victim all of a sudden?
I
That's
see
the
where you're
part
going.
that
Hey,
makes me
you and Noosh are on the same place. Fans can do whatever they want with no repercussions, but as soon as an athlete gives them the same energy, it's a problem.
Yeah, it's a problem, and it's a
Problem.
big problem. And I think that's great the way Noosh put it. That's a big problem, and that happens in every level of athletics when it goes down the line from high school on. If the kid is not being aggressive, as soon as the kid does something that's the athlete or the superstar, it becomes a problem. Everybody else is the fan or groupie. It doesn't matter. Okay. They're always deemed as not the non-aggressor, but again, We don't know the situation. I just don't believe I can't fathom him and his four buddies were being the instigators in that situation.
Yeah.
I think that guy was a fan and said so.
Yeah, and again, liquid courage and all that. So I'm gonna put this comment back up too as well, and I'm gonna keep messing with you, Jim. Right? See, this is the reason why we were 60 seconds late, because we were talking about this exact thing right here. Right? Athletes have everything to lose, but the fan has nothing to lose. So I really doubt that Alvin and the other athletes initiated that and said, you know what, I'm gonna throw all this away, or I'm gonna put all this in this negative spotlight for nothing. Right. So again, this gentleman approached them. We it's all gonna come out in the story and all, but bruh.
I remember you used to talk about me in my Boost Mobile. Remember you said,
bruh, no, every single time we get to talking about somebody, we back. So don't trip. The whole stream is back. But every time we talk madness about somebody, somebody is tapping into the internet here. What's up, y'all? I see ya, Mama D. I see a tall boy jumping in as well. Listen, man, every time we get in an interesting conversation about who's who and who's right, and it starts getting slightly political or whatever.
I think, but back what we were saying though about Alvin, I really find it hard for, like I said, for him and his crew to be the aggressor in this situation. I really just don't like the negative spin the media is putting on this. Like I said, that indicted word is very powerful. You know, that usually comes synonymous with drugs and murder and all those types of things, not with battery. But since it's his face there, he's an African American athlete. He's a football player. They're deemed already as aggressive. They want to put this aggressive kind of label on this situation when basically, like I said, it was nothing but an altercation that he had that I'm sure he was probably let go after with the police or arrested and posted bail real quick, and he's out and he's going on bond and ready to go. It's not the situation like he's been indicted. He's facing 20, 30 years. What he's facing is going to be facing the civil suit. Yeah. Criminal charges are going to be minimal. He's going to have to pick up some trash or something like that. But bottom line, it's going to be the civil suit. This guy wants to get money out of it. And it sucks that he provides so many highlights for the TV screen when he's doing the positive and he's on the field.
Come on.
But then they want to paint him in this negative picture on this one certain incident.
Yeah. Right. One 2-minute incident starts overshadowing everything that he and a lot of these athletes do behind the scenes in their communities, that they don't have cameras in front of them, right? That they're out there helping food banks, they're helping kids, they're doing all that stuff. So we wanted to start with that, folks, and just have that conversation so y'all could see what was going on and kind of the different perspective that we had on the story, because you're only going to get kind of one lens when you maybe log into ESPN or you log into Sports Illustrated or CNN or whatever the case may be. We wanted to kind of give the backstory on both sides. And we actually kind of riding in the camp with the athletes on this one. So because again, you can't just roll up, and this is a life lesson for everyone, right? You can't just roll up on somebody just because you're a fan of them or you they think that you think you want to get a picture or an autograph, whatever the case may be. Somebody's trying to eat dinner with their family. You can't just roll up on Denzel when he
just think about it. If me and you having a casual drink at a bar, me and you, and somebody say, "Oh, Team No Sleep, what's going on?" But like, hey, we just got finished. Can we relax a little bit? We'll talk to you in a minute. Oh, F you, screw you. You know, hold on. What's up with all the aggressive?
Why you got to get all hostile like that?
Why you got to get hostile? Because I don't want to conform to what you want at that particular moment. And we're just talking about Alvin Kamara situation. He's sitting in the club or a bar or the lobby with his friends, chilling, hanging out.
Yeah.
And this dude either says something or does something or makes some kind of suggestion that seems aggressive to them guys, and they react. Again, Team No Sleep does it. No problem. Cops come away. They maybe just give us a ticket and cite us and let us go. This dude is plastered all over the internet talking about he's indicted. It's just not. It's not fair for the athlete. And like I said, this happens at every level of athletics. You know, the athlete or the entertainer is always deemed as the aggressor. And like I said, the fan should have just took an L. The one fan that did take an L, there's only one guy that I seen that's taking an L. Yeah. Just live with it. Is the dude with T.O. in the restaurant. I mean, not in the restaurant, in the drugstore.
No, in the drugstore. Yeah, we have heard that. That's true. That guy just shrugged it off. He just wiped the dirt off of his back and said, "Okay, I'm just gonna move on." All right.
Yes, exactly.
And the dude that I just thought about that Tyson put his hands on the plane.
Oh yeah, we ain't heard from him either.
Yeah, he didn't want to have no more smoke either. He didn't want to have no more smoke either. That's the last. I'm gonna say gut wrenching or hard story that we have this week. We got some decent ones that we're going to have some more discussion on. So let's get into that. But I want to get into some of these comments too. I like what you're saying here, Jim. He says 2023 setup tour vid. Okay, I'll do that because I think there's value in folks knowing how it is that we put this on, right? How the studios are set up, microphones, cameras, lights, action, and all that. I mean, I think that's a pretty cool conversation, and the fact that I was able to restart the environment just now after again the FBI or whoever took us down. So yeah, we can definitely do that. We can definitely do that. All right, brother. So you're a football man, right? That's a
Yes, sir.
facetious question because I know that, right? I mean, your family, you live, breathe, and your hat right there. You a football person all day, every single day. Talk to him real quick about that hat right there because I'm so proud of you
Oh
of all the stuff that you
yeah,
do, man. Talk about
this
that.
right
Come on.
here is my very own high school all-star game. I have every year in San Diego, California. It's an event we put on for kids of all walks of life, all levels, whether they're the Division I level kids all the way down to the kids that play Division III. And we've been so successful. We've had a roster, man, of 80 this year. Out of those 80 kids that played in this roster this year, 41 got scholarships that they didn't have before. We like to bring a lot of universities, a lot of colleges, smaller level schools and colleges to come out there to review this talent that normally doesn't have the budget to come out. So they get the chance to look at them all at one time. And I'm just something that we're very, very proud of doing to be able to get back to the San Diego community. And, all football related, man, teaching these kids, the etiquette of being recruiting all the way to being recruited and hopefully living their dream, at least
Love
at
it.
the next level, at the collegiate level.
God, so listen at him, man. Do something at the collegiate level. And listen, Mama D, I will make sure that you have Montel's contact information. It's already in the description for all of our shows. But listen, brother, a lot of folks want to reach out because you're doing some good things, and I know you probably had made some good connections last week when we had the esports folks on. So that's pretty
Absolutely.
good stuff. That's pretty good stuff. New said, listen, New said if he was in the room with us, couldn't contain ourselves, brother, we're gonna be all right. Find a way to get to the Super Bowl next year because we already have our tickets.
Yeah, we're in the house next year at the
So
Super Bowl.
listen, find a way to get to. Oh, look, here we go. We're gonna be in Vegas. We gonna be in. Find a way to
I'm
get to
already.
Vegas.
Hey, like I said, we only gonna get excited if we get into a fisticuff. So
Yeah,
I'm all right.
they're gonna be some things happening. Just find a way to get to Vegas because we gonna be there. And first round on me. Everyone the whole team No Sleep community that shows up. All right, next story. XFL. We started talking about football. Listen, we started talking about this last year when Dwayne Johnson was putting it into fruition. Him and his ex-wife, what's her name, Danny Garcia. I mean, so shouts out to a couple there that used to be married, being able to have some synergy and do some business together. I know they're working on the tequila stuff, and now they got the XFL that is launched. But talk to us a little bit about what your thoughts on this, right? We've been talking about an alternative to the NFL when it's over,
Mhm.
but now we got the XFL. They've played a couple of games already. They got what are there 8 teams? So
Yep.
your thoughts? Have you actually got a chance to see some of the games yet?
Yeah, I got a chance to watch some of it. This debut this past weekend.
Yeah.
I like a lot of good things that comes with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of good things that come with it. It obviously gives another alternative. It's more of a development league for the NFL, not only from player standpoint, but also from coach standpoint and administration. So all the way up the ladder. I think the Rock has been add some things to it. It's kind of made us watch a little bit more and do some things like the different kickoff rule.
Yeah.
You can go for the 4th and 25 instead of punting it or something like that. All those good things you can kind of it's kind of integrating some entertaining parts of it.
Yeah, say that 5 times fast, right?
Yeah. But I mean, the one thing I don't like about the XFL, and this is just my opinion, I got to get used to it. There's a lot of ex-NFL guys in there, so it cuts off kind of the legs of guys that are young guys trying to get into the league and play and get their opportunity. These are guys, Martavis Bryant and Josh Gordon. I wish them. They were great players. They played in the league. They were in the league for 4 or 5 years. But they messed up by failing drug tests or whatever. Now they got a second chance coming here in the XFL.
Yeah.
Not knocking that. But you got to also understand that takes away a roster spot for some up-and-coming kid that really wants to get a chance to showcase his talent as well. So I'm kind of mixed on that part. But they have a really tremendous lot of ex-NFL guys in the XFL. But I
Yeah,
get they
so
want to
I
put on a
want to hit
great
on
front.
that with this picture right here because the thought pattern at the beginning was the ones that didn't make the draft. So that's why you
Yeah.
see Dwayne Johnson wearing number 54 here because y'all know there's 53 players on the roster. So the ones that didn't make the squad are the ones that
Yep.
should be getting that initial opportunity as opposed to, again, and I don't want to call them washed up, but but like you were saying, those ex-NFL players are now possibly taking that roster spot
Yes.
of someone who just number 54, just over
Yeah.
Mr. Irrelevant, right? The one who
Yeah.
didn't make the crew. So
And it's crazy. I don't mind like the ones that were on the practice squad going down to playing there. I don't mind the ones that were like there for a couple of weeks and got cut and being there.
yeah,
The ones that have only played for a few years and like 1 or 2 years and they couldn't make it and they got to go ahead and develop the league. But they got like Martavis Bryant and Josh Gordon, they were in the league forever. They both were in the league 6-7 years and they didn't make it. And now they coming back and they get to showcase their skills. A guy like Patrick Lynch, who's played so much he was one of the top draft picks when he came out, and now he gets a chance to play down here and re-showcase his level. I mean, I get it why they want them there because they have experience in the game and they know how to play a little bit, and that sells tickets because they got ex guys that played in the league. But also, I would love for them. I mean, I love more like I liked what the USFL did last year, where they brought all these guys that we thought we forgot about that were great in college. They got a chance to showcase their college at that level.
true.
And we see these up and coming guys go, and then there was 4 or 5 guys from the USFL that made it to the NFL. Now they made the roster and kind of made it that way. So I think they got to figure out some kind of synergy, not synergy, but some kind of direction or instruction on how they're going to do this because I don't want to see a bunch of old NFL guys playing in USFL.
Right,
I mean,
right.
XFL. That's not. I hope that's not the point. I would like to see some guys that like, hey, this dude's a great player. He's on the cusp of making it to the NFL. He just needed a little bit of fine tune work, and now he can make it on up. So I don't know what that balance is, but that was the only part. Like I said, there was a lot of ex NFL guys in there that I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. But as far as quality of football, it's pretty good actually.
We'll see. It's early. We'll see how it works out.
Yeah.
Listen, and I don't know if these are facetious or funny or they might be real, but everybody's mentioning our boy Achilles. And, Jim is talking about him, and Chief is saying, listen, have him out there coaching. And listen,
Yes.
that would make sense though, because we know Achilles Smith can actually get out there. He's doing his quarterback camps. He could actually go out there and make some noise with something as prominent as the XFL with Dwayne Johnson. So
I'll give everybody a heads up. I'll give everyone a heads up. Achilles Smith Jr., his son, who's a sophomore, will be one of the top quarterback prospects in the nation in the next year or so. I think he's a sophomore. He already holds like 11 Division I scholarship offers. He's 6'6", 220 at the age of 16 years old. So be on the lookout for him. I know Achilles busy with him, but as soon as he's off to college, you're right. I would hope to see him get an opportunity to get in one of these leagues and be able to coach again and be able to provide his knowledge to some of these quarterbacks.
Bruh, listen there. Hey, folks, y'all heard it here first, right? We breaking news. Tell somebody. And if you haven't, you better go ahead and hit that subscribe button. There's my one YouTube push that I do, verbal. I'll put them up subliminally, but, there we go. Okay, they loving it. Yeah, see, Jim, they loving the Achilles chatter. Let me ask this question of you, Montel, coming from our guy News. If you could pick one quarterback, start the squad for this year, who you gonna pick?
I mean, out of the NFL.
So hold on. So NFL or XFL News? Because that would be a question right there. Because I'm watching this Lamar Jackson situation with his contract, and I'm wondering what's going to happen with him since he's representing himself. But I'll let you answer the question.
I mean, if we talk about the NFL, if I could pick one quarterback, it's obviously going to be my man from Kansas City. I mean, shoot, Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, undoubtedly, he's young. He's creative. He can play.
He got 2 rings. He got 2 rings. He got 2 rings already.
Yeah, well, I mean, but look how dynamic he is. He's a special kind of quarterback. He's a special guy. I mean, let's just be real with it. He's special. He's special with his position. He's been able to do it for a longevity time. He's been able to endure a few losing seasons, but with that system that they got implemented in Kansas City, dude is he's that good. Even if you hate him, he's that good.
Yeah, that's true.
Is there a person I would trust?
Take them flowers, brother. Take them flowers. Yes, sir.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man.
All right. Let me ask you. Yeah, okay. Let me ask you this question as well, because we're gonna go and get in this. How does that affect the XFL players playing this season and then go into the NFL? It's not a lot on the body. That's coming from Tall Boy.
Yeah, but the XFL is actually smarter than the USFL. You got to think XFL starts directly right after the NFL does. So when
Hmm.
the XFL ends, it'll go right into rookie mini camp and then veteran mini camp. So I believe about a month and a half to rest a little bit because the XFL is only 8 weeks. So minicamp doesn't start till late June.
Yeah.
So they have a little bit of time to rest and get themselves invited. The one thing that I think Tall Boy knows, especially with basketball, they need to see what you do on the field and your body of work, what you can do on the field against other
Yep.
professional athletes. So this gives them 8 weeks of film to show that they can play at that level and do things to be invited to those mini camps and to be able to grab them roster spots. So I think it's always good to be able to get yourself back out on the field and play. Is it hard on the body? Yes, but if you're trying to you're trying to live your dream and get yourself to the lead, I think you got to do whatever you got to do to make yourself to get in there. Remember, these guys that come into out of these leagues aren't deemed to come in the NFL to become starters. You know, some of them will, but they're not deemed to come in starters to come in to fill those role positions on the backup squad. So their body won't be that much. It won't be that hard on their body initially going in because they're not projected to be those starters. They're projected guys to be practice players and guys that fill in second string spots and role spots on there.
So,
And
so,
then
that, so
somewhat
that is,
elevate.
so that does that change your perception of the quality of the game that you see at the XFL level? Right? Again,
Not at all.
Okay. And,
Not at all because
I asked that question of the community as well, right? Because now, if you
because you
think
got to
about
think
the folks that are going to be on that league versus the
you got to think
NFL,
about those guys. Those guys are professionals. Like any professional athlete, you're very talented. You're in the top 1 or 2% in the world playing this sport. Whether you're playing any of those professional leagues, and just like in basketball, because I can relate to Tall Boy, the 12th man is just as good as the first string. He just don't get his opportunity. The 12th man on the court of the basketball guy, if he was playing all those minutes, he'd be productive. Just like an XFL player, if he gets enough chance in the NFL, he's going to be productive once he gets an opportunity. But you got to get film to get yourself in.
got to get
You
film.
have to have the resume to get in. And when you get there, or when you're trying to get there, if your resume is not strong enough, now you have alternative leagues to go to. You have the USFL, XFL, possibly the NFL, or whatever order it goes in. You have to build your resume. And you know, in football is special. It's special niche because remember, there's nothing. No football player can come straight from high school to the NFL. It's impossible.
True.
Your body's not mature enough to even do that. So you got to go through high school. Then you start your resume in college. You got to at least get 2 years of college in. So 2 to 4 years to get in college to get your resume done. If you're still not good enough, now you have an alternative of the CFL, USFL, XFL, or playing overseas to develop a few more years. And then hopefully you get your opportunity to get into a camp and showcase your talents there and make it to the league. So what's happening in front of us, and all you guys are witnesses, is the NFL is now starting to develop farm leagues, just like baseball has done, just like basketball has done with G League. Baseball does it with single A, double A, triple A. Football now has developed their farm leagues with XFL, USFL, and CFL.
Man, hopefully y'all was writing that down too, because you're not gonna get this master class anywhere else. You only gonna get that right around here. That's good stuff. We got some comments coming in. You know, I would much rather be attentive to the comments than worry about, because we here for them. Right. I was gonna go on to the next story. You know, it's still a football story, but you know, listen, let's go and be attentive to the comments here. Chief wanted to talk about Jackson Mahomes. What do you want to talk about Jackson Mahomes, man? Oh no, Jackson. Okay, I was thinking about Daddy Mahomes. Jackson Mahomes. Okay, because I'm more in line with Daddy Mahomes, with the father, with his Philly blunts. So Chief, are you talking about him being behind Patrick during that interview and doing his little TikTok dances? If that's what you're talking about, hey, you know what?
Oh, you know what? To be honest, I haven't even peeped it out yet. So his dad was dancing behind him?
It was the younger brother, you know, getting his little 5 minutes of fame. His bigger brother getting the Super Bowl trophy, and he's back, and Jackson's back there doing little TikTok dances. Like, come on, brother, go sit down somewhere. But
hey, my brother won the Super Bowl. I'm gonna act a fool too for at least a hot 5 minutes.
I'm gonna be like Kevin Hart, right, on top of the stands, right, when the Eagles won. I'm gonna be out there acting a fool too. But you know, it is what it was. He got his little 5 minutes of fame.
If Jackson's celebrating for his brother, man, I'm all with it. It's all cool, man. You're supposed to show that brotherly love. You know what I'm saying? Give something back to your family. Let them enjoy the celebration just as much as you.
That's it. That's it. Kevin, good to see you, man. He's saying, do y'all think Joe Burrow has a higher ceiling than Patrick Mahomes? Wow.
No,
I guess I was going to say I got one word thought on that, but I'll let you go first because that's
no.
actually kind
I
of
think Joe Burrow is going to be one of the elite quarterbacks, or he is one of the elite quarterbacks in the NFL. Unfortunately, Joe Burrow team, even though he has Jamar Chase, is a secret weapon. Man, it's something about that Kansas City offense that just can't be stopped.
yeah.
You know, and until a defensive coordinator figures out that Da Vinci code how to stop it, I think Joe Burrow will never achieve the individual accolades that Mahomes has achieved so far. I'm hoping Burrow gets the Super Bowl before it's all over with, because that window
Oh,
of
he will.
opportunity is going to
Oh no,
go
he will.
away
Yeah.
really quick. Because with him being to the Super, with Joe Burrow's getting there or getting close every year, that opportunity comes because free agency kicks in. Who knows? Does Jamar Chase get to stay there? Does Joe Mixon get to stay there? And if they don't, because the free agency comes, then the whole team is dismantled, and you don't know if it's going to get better or worse.
Mm-hmm.
So his window is closing really, really fast. And I hope within the next 2 or 3 years he gets a chance to get to the NFL. To the Super Bowl and showcase his talents. Hopefully next year in Las Vegas he'll be there. But Burrow, man, as far as a quarterback, he's one of the best in the league at such a young age. He's doing what Patrick Mahomes did when he was younger. But I just think Burrow doesn't have the weapons. Are going to have the consistent weapons. Free agency, man, just kills you building on something.
Yeah,
so
he's gonna get his. He got that swag. He's coming from a good pedigree as well, so he knows how to win, and so it's gonna happen for him. Tallboy with these jokes. We got guests tonight. Listen, brother, we always got. This is the community, man. This is what we talk up in these streets. And hey, Corey, you got the keys to the front door. You can always come in here and just pop in, man. I'll bring you online, and we can talk, and you can share your stories as well. So I'm putting that out there in public. You can come on in here and have this conversation. Let's get into some of these next stories because I see comments are coming in already knowing what we're going to talk about here in a few minutes. But staying with football, this man is finally getting some flowers. Getting some flowers. He's not getting the full bouquet. This is an interesting story from Manscaped. So that's why I put it up here because, listen, Eric Bieniemy has finally... Not finally, but he's got a new position. He's over there in Washington. He's with the Commanders. He is their OC/co-head coach. And that's good for them, as this story says. That's good for the Washington Commanders, but is that really good for Eric Bieniemy? The context of this story is the only way, and talk to us about how you think about this, the only way for Eric to really get to that next level, to get head coach position himself, is he had to get out of the shadow of Andy Reid. Andy Reid in Kansas City, if y'all Chiefs fans, Andy Reid has both hands around the offense. He calls all the plays. He everything runs through Andy. It's just more consultancy from the DC and the OC and everyone around him. So for Eric to really get looked at as someone who can call the plays, not just run the offense, but as someone who can actually control the entire dynamic, it's a shame that he had to actually leave this winning front. He's walking away with another ring. Talk to me about what your thoughts are about this dynamic, right? Again, he's been passed over so many times. Now he's over in Washington. He's got a kind of a dual role. And when will he finally get to the top of the mountaintop?
That's a BS narrative they're trying to paint.
Come on.
That's BS, man. That's a very BS narrative trying to paint. Josh McDaniels was the same way with Belichick. He got his head coach job. He didn't have it. Belichick calls the defense. I guarantee you, Belichick has his hands in everything that has to go on that team with the defense, and he has insight on the offense. All of a sudden, and McDaniels had Tom Brady. So now all of a sudden, Josh McDaniels he's had 2 head coaching jobs and been unsuccessful. Let's talk about Sean McVay at the Rams. Sean McVay was young, right? Didn't have it all, didn't win anything. He gets his head coaching job. It's sad that Eric Bieniemy, as successful as he is, and him being an African-American coach, which even sheds more light on it, that this man doesn't get an opportunity when he wins. Every winning organization, people get to pillage off of and take their assistants and make them head coaches or whatnot. Why is Eric Bieniemy any different? They could say, oh, Andy, they want to poke this thing about Andy Reid calls all the plays. BS, man. Andy Reid, he makes suggestions for them to run. He's an OC. Now, Andy Reid may have the final say like every other head coach does, but Eric Bieniemy has a big part of the offense. So now the narrative is saying, oh, so she passed him over again. hey, let's say he doesn't call the plays or he doesn't do anything, but he's just the title of OC. That's BS, man. He earned that job. And the fact of the matter, you don't want to give him an opportunity. And I don't know for what reason, because his resume speaks volumes over other guys that got jobs, just like the guy that's down in Miami Dolphins. Him as well. He was in San Francisco, barely calling anything, and now he gets a head coaching job in Miami. It's sad, man, to see that he has to go through so many hoops and has to leave something that was so successful just to try to get another opportunity. And for Eric Bieniemy, it's a double-edged sword.
Yeah.
Think about it. If he has no success, or because we already know Washington Commanders is not a very good team. If he doesn't have success or instant success, he's stuck.
Yeah.
They have a reason to say, I told you so. He couldn't do it there. Look what he's done over there. He can't do it there. Really? That has nothing to take away from his body of work, what he's already done. He should have been given an opportunity to be a head coach. And then what? And now I don't know who came up with this narrative and want to paint this picture, but it's a BS picture. It's stupid.
Should he have stayed in Kansas City?
Other guys in the league have done so much less and got more opportunity than he has. And the only difference is the color of the skin. Let's be transparent. Let's be perfectly honest and keep it out there. The color of the skin has been the only difference. This man has 2 Super Bowl rings in 4 years.
Hey,
and before that, he was successful running back coach. He was successful OC.
Yep.
He's had the #1 offense for 4 years in a row with the title of OC.
Champion.
And he can't get a sniff.
Can't get it. Man. So again, let me ask you this: should he have stayed?
Yes.
Because I mean, this is getting into the mindset and into the psyche of Bieniemy, his family, and his situation, and maybe what he thought. And again, we're just going Monday morning cornerback this right here. But should he have stayed in Kansas City with that franchise, with that organization, and continue to just do what it is that he do at the highest level? Or why do you think he made that move? Talk to us about because
yeah, the lateral move. I get why he wants, because he wants to get under that shadow to prove everybody he deserves a shot. My fight for him is like you shouldn't have to do that. Yeah. It shouldn't have to be where you're that's why I'm trying to get under someone's shadow to get a shot when you've had so much success. That's like us leaving a successful company to go to the startup to do the same job in a startup just to prove to everybody I can do the job. Right? We don't do that.
Look at my resume. You already know I'm good. I don't have to do that. Look at my resume.
I'm already good. You know I am. So I don't need to go to some startup to prove myself to be able to go work with another company the same size as that.
Yeah.
He shouldn't have had to do that. But he has to do that in order the eyes of this narrative that the media is painting in order to show himself, to prove himself right. I think it's a lose-lose situation, in my opinion. It's not a win-win.
Ooh.
If he's successful at it, like he was successful in Kansas City, who's to say that he gets a job then? Who's to say he gets a head coaching job then?
And how much longer does he have to wait? How much longer? Right.
But the negative part of it, if he's not successful, there we go. And it won't be because of his play quality, because of the quality of players he has on that team. If it's not successful, then his career is shot. He'll always be stuck at the OC job. No one's going to give him a chance.
Wow.
So, again, the media or whoever the NFL is trying to paint this picture, I think it's just BS, man. That's sad. It's very sad, because the only differentiator we have out of this whole situation is the color of his skin.
It is.
There is no other difference. There's nothing else. His resume speaks volumes.
His resume speaks that he should be co-owner. I mean, again, he's walking away as a champion again. He's led, and you admitted it before we even got to the story. Arguably the best quarterback right now, Patrick Mahomes, and able to corral him, able to work with Kelsey, able to work with all the other people on the offensive line. Man, the dude is still not getting, like I started the story, all his flowers. He's just getting a handful of them. And it's an unfortunate situation, man. We'll see how it works out. But I don't think that the Commanders are going to be. I don't know what the odds are for next year, but from a contenders perspective, it's going to be tough as always. It's going to be tough for him.
It's tough. It's sad. Like I said, he has to put himself in a position. He has to do double of what somebody else does with the same qualifications in order to get the job. He has to work twice as hard. Go to a historical losing franchise and try to turn that around in order to get a job he's already earned or he deserves to get a chance at.
Yeah. Sending some messages out here. Shouts out to Kevin. I saw him answer with a good comment there, and I put it up on the screen. Hey, Kevin, shoot me your your email address, man. I'm gonna make sure you're part of the inner circle here in the community, man, so that you get some insider access to some things. I really like the questions that you're asking. So, yeah, let's get that going. Bieniemy, we fans. We fans, brother. You know, if he's listening, I'm gonna clip this out. I'm gonna send it to the Commanders. We sure would like to see him have that position one of these days, sooner.
Yeah,
than later.
and I wish him much success. I wish him very much success. And man, I'm not gonna give a shout out, but I'm disappointed in LaShawn McCoy's on Fox Sports. I think he made some comments about it today. Why he said Eric Bieniemy didn't deserve the job, which is sad. I'm kind of disappointed in his comments.
What you doing?
He does it on the show with Emmanuel Ocho. The one with Emmanuel Ocho. I don't even know the name of the show.
Okay.
But he had some comments saying he didn't deserve it. Said, you know, what does he bring to the table? And I challenge him. What did Josh McDaniels bring to the table?
Goodness gracious.
What did the defensive coordinator? What did the head coach of Miami Dolphins bring to the table?
Names, y'all. Oh my goodness. He's dropping names.
You know, what did some of these guys bring? Matter of fact, what did some of these other guys bring to the table that they deserve a head coaching job? I know the Jets coaches did a good job, but what did he bring to the table? Nothing. You're talking about they have to bring something to the table in order to be considered for a head coaching job. Some of these coaches hasn't brought anything to the table except they're born into football. That means they have a family name, like the Paytons and all those guys. Some of these guys get through nepotism, they get their shot, they get their opportunity to come there. Some of these guys have never even played football before in their life, took a snap of everyone in their life. What do they bring to the table all of a sudden that they get a shot? But Eric Bieniemy, who's drafted up before, played in the league, 4-time #1 offense, 2-time Super Bowl champ. His resume speaks a lot louder than a lot of these guys. And for him to say something like that, because he played for Kansas City, but he didn't play very much when he was there. To have those kind of comments about Eric Bieniemy, man, that's kind of sad, man. It's kind of like the crab in the barrel. You don't want to see another brother arise because you want to down him.
My goodness. See, come on now, folks. If y'all didn't pick up what Montel just put down, you don't know what's going on. Right there, hit the like button right there, because what he said right there is the eye-opening statement right there. Kevin Cox, I see you in the building, man. Appreciate you for joining us. Better late than never. So again, you think about it, because the highlight of the story, the headline of the story, wants you to read it a whole different way. And I can guarantee you that the folks watching and listening didn't think we were going to take it another way, just to make you think about, is this really a good thing for the team, for the Chiefs, for the Commanders, for Bieniemy, for Bieniemy's fan, right? I mean, there's just a whole different, there's 4 legs to this table here that just, you got to ask that question in terms of, is this a good move? Is this the right move? And it really is shaking out that maybe it's right in the middle, right? And there's more cons than pros to this. But again, like you're saying, we wish him nothing but the best. We know he's going to do what he does, right? We know he's going to go in there and make a change, make a difference, but is everything around him in that organization going to be enough to have a winning season? Probably not this year. Probably not. Prove us wrong. Prove us wrong.
Well, that's the thing, though. Why? That's my question right there. Why does he have to overcome so many cons?
He's got, yeah.
And why does he have to prove us wrong?
He's got to.
Why do you got to prove me wrong in order to make it when his body of work has showed that he's able to make these efforts?
Because that's the society that we live in, and I'm just being just like you, completely honest. That's just the society that we live. Unfortunately, it's not right. I don't think it's right.
But you got to talk about the elephant in the room.
Come on.
The other guys that are of white don't have to do that. Him as a black coach has to do that, which is sad when his resume is better than most of those guys.
Yeah.
That's the part that's more irritating. It would be different if he wasn't qualified and we were just barking up a tree. That's a different story. But he has accolades just as much as Mike Tomlin. If we're going to talk about resumes, let's talk about resumes. He's got a resume that could rival Mike Tomlin. Honestly.
How many rings is Mike? How many rings is Tomlin? You're right. Okay, you're right.
Two Super Bowl champions. He has a resume that is impeccable. Yeah. Impeccable of deserving a shot, right? It's impeccable of deserving a shot. Now, whether he's successful on it as a quarterback or not. Remember, there's 30 teams in the NFL, there's 29 losers. So that means he would be at least in that 29.
Oh, come on. Ooh, shoot.
His resume is strong enough to say he should be around that. He should be amongst that 29. And for people to say that's not true, that they're wrong. They're absolutely 100% wrong. He deserves that shot. You know, no disrespect. I know they just gave the head coach job, the Texas job to the defensive coordinator in San Francisco 49ers, right? Great young
Yeah,
brother, up and coming
yeah,
talent.
yeah,
Great job. His resume does not even come close to robbing what Eric Bieniemy got, and Eric Bieniemy didn't even get an interview there.
yeah.
So my question is, what is he not liked? Is it a personality issue? What is it? Because they want to run this false tale that Andy Reid calls all the plays. Okay, well, Andy Reid calls all the plays. Look, how read Andy Reid's title and head coach, offensive coordinator. No, he gave Eric Bieniemy that job to be offensive coordinator for a reason. He's an offensive coordinator. That means he designs plays, he understands the breakdown, and he does some things that goes on. He's strong enough candidate to be Andy Reid's right-hand man on offense. Any other coach that was Andy Reid's right-hand man got a head coaching job, except for Bieniemy now.
Don't believe it, folks. Look it up. Google it. Bing it. Yahoo it. Do whatever you got to do. Look it up. It's written out there in plain black and white. Think about that. We gonna move on, but again, we just want folks to have a different thought and perspective about, you know, the 35,000 foot level story that you saw here, and we trying to peel back that onion, man. Appreciate you for going into some detail on that. I did see Jim asking us, you know, how did we meet, and kind of telling that story. We've told that story before, but we're not going to do it right now. But we'll probably come back and do maybe at the end of this season. We'll tell kind of that story. We'll go through all of that. I appreciate you for asking. I just wanted you to know that I did capture that, man. So it's all good. It's all good. But that's a good thing right there. All right, let's get into this next story. I'm not going to get into the Jake Paul one. Jake Paul fighting again this week. Okay, there we go. End of story. NBA All-Star game. You watched the game? I didn't watch the game.
No.
Okay.
I didn't watch the game either.
You watched the Celebrity All-Star game? You know, any of that?
No. All I watched was the three-point contest and the dunk contest.
Is that right? You watched that dunk contest?
I sure did.
This boy right here, Mac McClung, came out there and showed his whole tail. Mac McClung came out there and showed everybody.
I want a little bit of money off of that, so I'm all good. I said I predicted he was going to win from the beginning.
Right.
Matter of fact, I predicted him and Dame. I predicted Dame Lillard was going to win the three-point contest.
Yeah.
And I said this dude right here was going to win the slam dunk contest because I saw his reels online before.
This man right here, listen, y'all go check the YouTube channels for Mac McClung. This man right here, white man, can jump. And he had everybody with their mouth open. Giannis had his mouth open. Shaq had his Shaq cam going. And he had his mouth open. Everyone was just props to him. Tell you how this man's week went in 5 days before the dunk contest. He's in the G League. He gets called up to the 76ers. He wins the dunk contest. That in and of itself. Now he's plastered all over the news. We talking about him here on Team No Sleep. Then the boy messes around and gets a contract with Puma. So the man getting his money. So shouts out to what 5 days can do for the life of someone that just goes out there, goes after it, does the work, and actually is getting some benefit from all that happening. So that was the best part of the entire weekend as well. That you know, him winning that and him getting that recognition. So yeah, man, props to this young man for that right there.
I think his story embellishes, take advantage of the moment, right? He took advantage of the moment that was presented to him. Yeah. So, I mean, he was presented this opportunity. I mean, I'm glad the 76ers signed him to that 10-day contract. So he was able to represent a team.
Yeah.
He wins the slam dunk contest. But even on the bigger picture than that, look at what he's done for the Philadelphia 76ers.
Mm-hmm.
Look how much marketing and advertisement they're going to get from signing this guy to a 2-way 10-day contract. Basically paying him very little to nothing money. To this guy gets to get the slam dunk contest. He's representing Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love. You know how they embrace their athletes. This is, I think, 25 years or 30 years to the year that Dr. J won it, the slam dunk contest. So another Philadelphia 76er, legendary 76er, wins the slam dunk contest. The only thing we could have wrote this story to be better if it was done in Philly, right? If he could have did it in Philadelphia,
that would you know I like stories too. That would have been the story. That would have been amazing. But
this guy.
What's cool is that he actually made the three. he actually made not even just the old All-Star weekend, but he made, of course, the dunk contest relevant again.
Yes,
Shaq even
absolutely.
said that, this dude, I think if anyone else had won it, it'd have been all right, okay. But this dude, with that story, with that backstory, him winning it and having all that success, he made it relevant again. Now, if they can do something like that with the NFL and their little Pro Bowl, that game, we
Oh
can
man,
talk
you know,
about
I
that
already gave you
later.
my spoiler
Let's
on
stay
them.
on a positive note.
They're
Yeah.
horrible. But no, I thought they did a really good job, man. I mean, shout out to this dude. Man, he's just balling. I mean, I hope he balls out and he be able to continue.
Yeah.
Trying to read what Kevin Cox was. Still disappointed the Warriors didn't keep. Yeah,
I guess he was on the Warriors roster. I didn't realize that. I
Well,
didn't
I think
realize that
he
he
was
was
a
on
guy
the
that was
Warriors.
bouncing around from G League to G League to kind of go on there. But I don't know McClung's game as far as what he did in the G League. Like, was he a good shooter? I know he's a pretty good guard. But I don't know what his outside range is and when he goes. But definitely, as you can see, he can go to the rim and get way above some people. That dude, he, like you said, bro, not only the dunk contest back to some kind of relevance.
Yeah.
I think the fact of his color, right? Him being white.
Definitely. Listen, that again, that's why I started with. White man can jump, right? He went out there and did what he needed to do. He's jumping over people.
I hope he get a part in the remake, right? Something Hulu. I hope he gets a part in that. But I mean, the dude seemed. I mean, even in his interview, he seemed very humble. In his interview, he seemed like he's a guy that's trying to get ready to work hard to get into the league. And like I said, I hope he has a really good. I know he's still on this 10-day contract. I hope the Philadelphia 76ers re-up it again one more time, so he can get a chance to see if he can really play at the NBA level. And man, hopefully make the playoffs, man. I'm waiting to see him get a dunk in the game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I would love to see him and the process out there together. Him and Joel, right? Him and Embiid out there.
Yeah.
Man, come on. That would be pretty dope. That would be really the culmination of a good few months for this young dude.
Right now, right this minute, he's probably the third most popular 76er on that roster.
Oh, yeah.
It goes Embiid, Harden, then him.
Yeah. Yeah. I need to shave before I start looking like Harden, man. I think, well, okay. You can't take me nowhere. I got nothing but jokes, man. That's good stuff. That's good stuff. All right. Let's. We got one more story, but let me get into these comments. Kevin Cox was saying the dunk contest always the best part of the All-Star event. Not going to take credit, but someone was saying the actual game was so bad they need to blow it off. Oh Lord, who said that? Did he say that, or did we say that?
Nah, I mean
that may have been Kevin coming through.
Kevin might have said, but you know what? I from the highlights that I saw,
he's very opinionated. He's a diehard Warrior.
I think they need to go back to the East West breakup, because at that point they had pride. This team Giannis and team Bron, I'm not feeling it. They get that's all whack. It should be Eastern versus West, like it's been in the tradition, and keep that kind of rivalry going based on conference to go against conference to see who's the best out of each conference and go.
Yeah.
And what that would do, that means we won't have so many guys that play on the West on both rosters. Let's just kind of keep it like it used to be and kind of develop that rivalry. And I think they should incentive. I like the incentives of who wins a quarter. They get money donated and all that stuff. I think that's great. But I believe it needs to go back to just kind of being the East and the West. I don't like Team Giannis versus Team Bron. I think that's just kind of it's whack, and it doesn't make any sense.
That was a little cheesy. So yeah, that's they're gonna change that. They're gonna change that. So Cheryl is in agreement with that. East West was the way to go.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get into this last story. Like I say, we're gonna try to end on a more positive note from now on. And again, this is one of them stories that could go either way. And again, hey Jim, this is again why we were 60 seconds late. I'm not gonna let you live that down. You really putting the screws on your brother. But we was working back here. We was coordinating. Animated series is coming out on MLB Network, MLB.com, talking specifically about the value of the Negro League, the Negro League history. It's actually coming out on YouTube TV, YouTube Kids as well. So, in an effort to bring awareness to youngsters and folks who may not know who, what, why, and how the Negro League started and some of the prominent names in there. So shouts out to that. Props to that for putting this series together, putting this animated series together. But talk to us a little bit about your thoughts, Montel, when I first brought this to you, and then because you were asking kind of a different question. I said shouts out for having this, but you said what?
I'm just saying, why does it take so long to recognize it?
You
Like
said
we,
why?
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I want to know why.
Why do
Why
we
does it
even
take?
have to do that? Okay, there
Yeah,
you go. Let's
why
talk about
not
that.
why no, we do have to acknowledge, right? We have to acknowledge the history of baseball. But I'm saying, why is it taking them so long to want to come up with something like this to be acknowledged? I mean, the Negro League was one of the foundations for Major League Baseball today,
Yes.
especially for Afro Latino, right?
Yes.
For Afro Latinos, one of the big foundations for this to kind of preserve itself and be there. I'm like, you don't have to make it a story. I think you could just do it. I mean, why are we acknowledging baseball players or baseball and including that as a piece of it, or that's a part of it? Why does that have to be like? Why? I'm wondering why they're just kind of trying to pull this out now. And I hate that word. I hate the word when they put Negro League. Like, even though I know that's what it's called and that was the name of it. I don't want to. I want to shine light on for what it is, but don't make it seem like, hey, look how far we came. Look, this is where you were at, and this is not how far you are now.
Good point.
Now we
Good
integrated
point.
you. Now
Relevant point.
No,
yeah.
This is a foundation. This is one of the building blocks that make Major League Baseball the way it is, and I hope they acknowledge it that way. I'm interested to watch a couple of them just to kind of see where they're going with it. But I hope they acknowledge that this is one of the forefather building blocks of Major League Baseball.
Definitely.
You know,
definitely.
So
I haven't watched any of them yet either. But yeah, folks, you can go to MLB.com/originals. I'll put the link also in the description to see the first few that were.
I'm just confused about the why part, man.
Yeah.
You know, like I was saying, the why. Like, why? Okay. Yeah, acknowledge it as Black History Month. I want you to acknowledge it, absolutely. But you know, I just don't. I'm confused. What are they trying to get out of this? Are they just acknowledging? Is this just for acknowledgement that was there, and you're going to you're trying not capitalize on, but you're trying to just bring awareness to it, or what's your angle in Major League Baseball? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
By documenting this series.
Yeah, you know, this isn't replaced before our reparations, is it? You know, I can still use. Well, I'm not going. Okay.
I mean,
I don't need the mule, but I can still use some land.
I mean, we got you. I think baseball needs to address a bigger thing than just that. I think they got to address the lack of love in the inner cities for baseball. Period.
Come on, yeah.
There's not, and I don't think you get it by doing this. You don't get it by doing this, but there's obviously a situation. Baseball has lost its luster in the United States.
Yeah,
you know,
and they're trying to get it back with some of the new rules. I think we missed a couple of weeks ago when they came out with the new rules about the pitch clock and kind of some of those things. But you know, you're right. And you've always said that, right? You will fall asleep if I took you to a game. Right, you just can't sit there for 3 hours with the typical game.
But that's people think I'm not interested in the game, and I'm probably not interested in the game because, again, even though it was prevalent when I was young, but when my sons were growing up, lacrosse started to take that place.
Okay,
instead of baseball. So I'm saying baseball has more of an issue where they need to attract a younger audience, especially a younger audience in the United States, because they're losing that battle. Purists love baseball. People people and families of purists love baseball because they grew them up on that sport. But as far as attracting a new kind of audience, baseball's having a hard time.
Yep.
So I'm wondering, is this to educate and then attract? I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what they're trying to do, but I know one of the biggest issues is, especially where we come from in the inner cities. Tallboy can address this in an ATL. Where's a baseball field where kids playing baseball all the time? Where is that attraction? I don't see that attraction at all. Baseball is not an attractive sport to a lot of the inner city youth. So they're losing the African American or Afro American. They're still gaining Afro Latino though a lot, because that's their way out. That's their way out. Ooh. So attracting people Afro Latino, they're at their way out. And now, more Japanese and Asians are starting to come into the major league market as well, because they've been able to capitalize off their market to be able to come over here since Ichiro broke that barrier down. But again, their lack of attracting African Americans and Latino Americans is starting to fall off drastically.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering where they're going to go with that.
We'll see.
That's something for you to be an answer.
Yeah, I need to think about that, because again, it's in alignment here with what Kevin is even saying. Kind of the new rules are kind of whack when you really think about it, and bringing engagement, especially the youth, right? Because at the end of the day, that's where it is, right? We any of these sports want to bring in kind of that young money, that young mindset, that young attendance as well, and Football is doing that. Basketball is doing that. Hockey is doing that. I mean, soccer, all these other sports are doing that. But man, baseball, again, 3 hours sitting there just eating popcorn and peanuts and watching the pitcher spit all over the place. Right? It's just not the same in terms of excitement. We are a social media 30-second, 60-second mentality and society, right? That swipe left, swipe right kind of thing. So baseball doesn't allow us to really live into that world. It slows us down too much. So I need to think about it, and I'm gonna take that action item to figure out, some top 3 things that I think MLB or just baseball in and of itself could do to attract more folks into and more butts in the seats kind of thing. So the past World Series was the first without an African American on either roster, maybe ever.
Wow.
Wow.
I didn't know that at all, Kevin. That's woo. Wow.
Hold on, man. Wow. That's crazy. Okay. Anything? Well, we got Dusty Baker. He won, but that's crazy though.
that's not playing though.
that don't count. Man, that's a bomb.
That's deep right there. I didn't
right there. God, dog. What? Okay. See, that's why Kevin controls everything behind the scenes for us, man. He's been promoted to I don't know, master moderator. That's what he is.
Wow.
Right?
So that was the first Major League World Series in a long time that hasn't had an African American in there. And football was the first time we had 2 black quarterbacks that started.
Goodness gracious, man. I've never been quiet like this before. You actually got me kind of confused there. Okay. TD, what's happening with you, man? He says no fields. They are mostly closed off in the inner city. That's true. They continue to close gates to the children to do something fun. We've talked about that early on in our Team No Sleep series as well. There is nothing for kids to do. There is no more YMCA, YMW, whatever, young women CA, those things, the Boys and Girls Club, those kind of things. There's no field to go and play dodgeball, kickball, baseball, whatever the case may be. You're closing them because you're scared. A lot of these neighborhoods are scared because they think something's going to happen or whatever, or they're not funding these types of activities properly as well in local city government. We can get into those conversations as well if you want to. I don't want to get on that high horse right now, but we can. But again, that's what's happening. But so what are they going to do? What are the kids going to do? What are people going to do if they don't have the resources to go out there and play sport, engage, and have competitive outlets to their energy, their frustrations, whatever? Listen, get out of school from 8 to 3 o'clock. You want to go out there and swing the bat, or you want to go kick the ball? You want to go do something, and everything's got a chain on it. Okay, I'll stop.
No, man, no. You know what? No, that's not only is that a problem, but I mean, not only cutting those programs, they're selectively selecting STEM programs.
Yeah.
They don't select them in every school, so kids can't even have an educational outlet after school.
Yeah.
It's starting to become something that is concerning to me because I think this is generation, what's X or Z? I don't know what generation we're on, but this generation I feel bad for because things are being taken away from them where they don't even have an opportunity to even try out or do. And you can chalk it up to fear, but I don't chalk it up to fear because if you invest in these communities and have those people in that community involved, they're usually protected. We're in the same situations, and all of us have been in the situations where we grew up, where we knew there was a bad part of the neighborhood, but we still played there, and there was no problem with that game. Now, don't get me wrong, there's isolated incidents that we hear about all the time here and there.
Always,
but again,
with
when
everything.
The community's invested in it, we don't have those isolated incidents. Those are usually off-limit places. You can hang out to the park Monday through Thursday, but Friday, Saturday, and Sunday when the games is going on, you can't be there. You know what I mean?
That's
so
just
I
the
think
rules,
it's the way you police it and you protect it and you invest in it for these kids to be able to have an opportunity to protect. I mean, the opportunity to participate. We're not, I don't know if it's the government or it's the city or whoever it is, but for some reason, they want to take away from us because we can go to any suburban area, and where I live, I got 9 baseball fields running around here.
Come on.
I go down the street to Southeast San Diego, and there's nothing. There's hardly any baseball fields running around there, except the ones that are already beat up and tore up. We need to start figuring out a way to be able to, have these opportunities for these kids to be able to do. And not only that, but swimming pools and all those things. Why are those programs being cut so much? Why is band being cut? Why is arts being cut so much? And why does it mainly affect our communities first?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's been cutting other, but I know in our community it's first
Yeah.
to go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I get frustrated by it because now we have these big corporates that come in and now to take over club sports, club football, club basketball. Now our kids can't play in our gyms; they got to go play for these clubs. That cost a tremendous amount of money, and they only select the kids that are the best of the best. Well, Johnny, that ain't that good right now. It just hasn't developed. It could be one of the best, but he has nowhere to play or do anything. So they take away these like you said, these teen centers and YMCA's and youth centers. We just don't have. I mean, I don't know what it is, and I'm tired of basketball players not giving anything back, or football players or whatnot. They talk about giving back to the community, and they give maybe this. I know they do give, but where does that money go? I think there just start to be some accountability where that money goes because, man, in all reality, it doesn't come back to a lot of these neighborhoods.
Listen, and I'm going through the comments as you're saying that, and folks are resonating and agreeing and asking the same question, asking questions why. I'm gonna bring up this statement here from Kevin Cox, man. That's why the people of Detroit are so mad that they tore down the old stadium and it's a parking lot now. Turn that into a facility to teach the children of the area to play the game.
Yes,
and then, like,
absolutely.
And Cheryl talked about Dodger Stadium. Dodger Stadium is out there and it's just vacant. I mean, why aren't we taking advantage of facilities that are already there that are just turning into mothballs? Just not even being utilized to their full potential, right? If it's a city, if it's a local government thing, there could be revenue coming in from having the local kids come in, someone serving some hot dogs, somebody serving some food, someone coming out there and renting the facility instead of it sitting there vacant and empty for 8-9 months of the year.
There's ways to monetize that. There's ways to monetize that. If that's what you're in it for. But I'm tired of this part. Now I'm gonna get on. I'm not on my house, but I'm gonna go.
Get on it, brother.
But I'm saying it gets really frustrating when I see wealthy athletes and wealthy entertainers say they give back. But where's that money going to? And just because you gave back there, it ain't enough. It's not enough. Sometimes it's just not enough. Oh, I gave $1 million to YMCA. Well, that's not enough. They need $1.5 million. And you have enough to be able to give that because that's a tax write-off for you. You make $50 million a year. Come on, man. I mean, and I will commend LeBron. I think LeBron gives a lot back to his community back in Akron. But I'll even challenge LeBron. You don't live in Akron no more. You live in Los Angeles, California. And you have enough money to be able to support what you're doing in Akron as well as giving Los Angeles, California. Because you know what, LeBron? We support your shoes. We support your posters. We support your clothing line. We support your whack movies. But we still support them. We're there. But I mean, I'm saying, man. I mean, listen, you got to ask yourself, okay, if they gave $1 million there, how come you can't give $1.5 million? I'm not saying somebody's supposed to bleed you dry for money, but I think you should also be accountable where your money's going and make sure it's going in the right place and it's going to the right people. But for him, I know for a fact he does great work in Akron. I know I met one of the ladies that one of the teachers that taught him back in elementary school what he's done for their elementary school and what he's given back to build back his schools. Mm-hmm. And I would hope LeBron would teach a class to all his other teammates and other people in other industries that make a lot of money, how they can give back and do like he's doing. But the frustrating part is sometimes it's not enough. There needs to be more. And there's more out there to get because you think Jeannie Buss ain't going to give LeBron what he wants? Hey, Jeannie, I need the Lakers to sponsor me to go half something with this. They're not going to say no. So, I mean, come on, man. I think there just need to be something there. I mean, Steph and Aisha Curry do a lot for Oakland. Still not enough. It's not enough.
When you have the disposable at that level, right?
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna say, Bron, listen.
And I don't want to count your. I'm not counting your dollars. I'm saying you should count your dollars.
Oof.
Count your dollars and make sure it goes to the right point. I don't want to count your money, but you should count your point because if you're giving $300,000 to an organization, I damn sure bet you that $300,000 is not going directly to them. 5,000 is going here, 25,000 is going here, 40,000 is going here, and then they get whatever's left over. Unless you purchase $300,000 of the computers yourselves and drop them off yourselves, that amount of computers ain't been delivered to that school.
Ooh.
All right.
So I think they should need to count. They need to count themselves. Somebody needs to be accountable and show them every dollar where that dollar is exactly going.
Let's audit all of these charitable contributions.
Absolutely.
I've been audited. I know what it feels like. It don't feel good. So if you say you giving $20 to someone, I want to see where that $20 went to. That's a good point. That's a good point.
And they have the power to be able to do that. I'm just saying
Yeah.
they need to. Maybe that's the case. Maybe they do give enough, and maybe I just don't see it because it's not being audited and distributed the right way. I would hope they get in a position where they can get it audited and make sure it's being distributed the right way, and they give it to the right people because that will benefit our communities more so than anything.
Yeah, it is, folks. We came with it tonight. Well, this man right here came with it. Listen, I'm just back here pushing buttons and making sound effects. But y'all know this is what we do. Team No Sleep, Wednesday night, 6:30 p.m. Pacific. Tell somebody. Tell somebody. We grow in this community, and we love the community because you keep us honest. You know, we can sit here and chit chat all we want, come with the stories, but as you saw, the pivot is real. You guys were bringing up some things in the comments, and we went with some of your topics tonight. So that's just what we do. If we're doing a good job, tell us. If we're not doing a good job, tell us as well. Right. So we can continue to get better, and so we can continue to get better together. Yeah, man. I'm feeling the way that we went. I'm gonna sit here and marinate in this a little bit before I go hit the gym tonight because we really went in some different angles with some of these stories. So, Monta, go ahead and take us home, man, brother.
Yeah, man. As always, man, be uncomfortable having that uncomfortable conversation. That's what we're all about. Team No Sleep.
That's it. And Cheryl, that little pay no attention to that automated moderation right there. I'm gonna turn that down. I don't mind you doing. We don't mind you doing the emojis right there. We're gonna turn that one off. So appreciate y'all. Be good. See you next week. We out.